I was blessed to grow up in a family that had rental properties. So it's a natural inclination for my mind to think that way. But a lot of people grew up in a home that maybe their parents didn't own it, or it was the only home that they ever owned, and they never considered a rental property and what that looks like. Long, long ago, my great-grandparents lived out in the Amboy area, and they were trying to get in closer into town, and so my grandparents found a little home near where they lived, and they bought this home for my great-grandparents to move into. And after they bought the home, and I don't know exactly what happened, but for whatever reason, my great-grandparents didn't end up moving into the home. And now my grandma and grandpa all of a sudden are finding themselves, they have their own home, and they've got this little tiny home nearby their house that they now own, but they don't have somebody to live in it, and turning around and selling it didn't seem to make sense. And so they thought, well, I guess we need to rent the house out. And that began the first step to my family owning rental property. That rental home was in my family for probably 60 years. My mom and dad still own the very first home that they ever bought. Their first time home has been a rental. They lived in it for a few years, and then they bought a second home, and they kept that first home. They sold the second home to buy the third home. They sold the third home to buy the fourth home. But along the way, they've had homes that they have owned that they still own because it made sense to keep it as an investment property for a variety of different reasons.